Hi, this is Charlie giving you Monday's market commentary. And we're going to go straight into the commentary today because we've got some interesting sort of observations to run through. So what I've brought up here first of all is the Stocks 50, the Euro Stocks 50. It's actually ETF that I've got here, but because this may have some implications with regards to the currencies and everything else we look at. So let's have a look at these actually. So Euro Stocks 50, as we can see, has been having a good run over the last few months this year. And if we go to the likes of the FTSE 100, that's doing rather well. The DAX in Frankfurt, that's doing really well. It's had a bit of a pullback just in the last week or so, but it's overall in a nice trend. And you put into the context of, on the backdrop of these trends that are happening in the European stock indices, that we've got European QE, quantitative easing, which is bringing money managers and funds in wanting to gain more exposure into European stocks. And if they want more exposure into European stocks, then they have to go via euros, and so therefore they'll be naturally buying euros as they come into those stock markets. And so what we've seen essentially, when you think about it, is that the euro made its low in middle of March. And we're now, what, 6 weeks on from there? And we haven't made any new lows. And yet, the sentiment in the market is still for the euro to carry on making new lows. And maybe it will. And I'm pretty sure that the euro will make new lows as well. But what I'm interested in at the moment is what it might be doing maybe over just the next couple of months. And the potential is still there that this euro may actually hold up. And if that's the case, now we've got a lot of news out this week. On the short-term basis, anything will happen. The euro go up and down and all that on the short-term basis. What I'm looking at here is something maybe just over the next couple of months, that if we're going to see still European equities buying, if we do see that, then we could see more buying coming through yet on the euro versus the likes of the dollar. So to me, I see the potential for the euro to get as high as 112 to potentially even 114. Now, I'd say 114 is the area of my highest call that I'd be looking at, but I do see that. Now, obviously, I don't see that happening anytime imminently, but that is a potential over the coming months. So just that potential with all of the bearishness that's there against the euro, that the market is just a little bit too one-sided, and so maybe in the context of what else is going on, we might actually see some more euro rallying. So it's just something to bear in mind. Now, I'll be wrong if we break this low. So if we break back down to the April low, then we come back down and break that, then all bets are off, and we're going pretty much on a path down to parity. And I'm looking for that ultimately. Fundamentally, it makes sense that we're going to go there. But I just see this potential that actually we might actually see the euro get up to potentially 112. The maximum would be 114, but it's got that potential to go there. So just bear that in mind. We've just had a half decent bounce the last week or couple of weeks, so it wouldn't surprise me to see it weaken off. And really what's going to be key this week is going to be FOMC on Wednesday. So it depends on how hawkish the Fed are, and because that could obviously send the euro dollar plummeting. But if they're not, and if they're fairly neutral, then we could see some further rallying. So at the moment, over the next couple of days, not too fussed what happens here, and we could see some consolidation, which I think would be good. And if we have a look at the likes of the pound versus the dollar, and remember we've got the elections coming up. I almost wasn't expecting the pound to have rallied as much as it has, even though I was bullish on the pound. But again, we've got elections coming up in 2 weeks now, so not even that. So, but it's certainly done very well. So the potential for the pound, I'm looking at the potential for 153 to 154 ultimately. But again, it's had a good run, and it could be due for more of a pullback here over the coming days or whatever, and it may end up getting a bit choppy as we get in closer towards that election. So a bit uncertain about that. But I just thought I'd throw that out at you, that the potential is there for more upside on the euro dollar. Obviously, if we start rolling down, the first sign will actually be if we break down these below these lows of last week actually. So we get back down into those 106.50 zones, then all bets are off, because it could still just come down to there and then come back up again. This is the last major swing low here, back from earlier on in April. But if we broke below these lows, then it'd be a warning. We'll just have to watch the price action at that point, whether it just breaks and then comes back up again. But certainly I do see some potential there for the euro. And I'm talking about over the next couple of months or so, not something that's imminent by any means. But I think it's going to need to be able to maintain itself around this 50-day moving average. So I think it's going to need to chop around this zone first and consolidate, and then we'll see if it then can bounce in the coming periods. Ultimately, yes, fundamentally, yes, euro should want to come down further against the dollar, and the dollar at some point will regain that strength. But just in the near term, maybe in the next couple of months, we could actually see euro dollar back up at 112 and maybe even 114. That would surprise a lot of people, but we shall see about that. But certainly once we get up into that zone, that's where I would be looking to sell. And that would be on a positional basis. When I say positional basis, that would be based on a multi-month outlook, if we did get up to there. So I'm looking up to here to potentially get some decent sells in if that does happen. Anyway, I'll leave that for you. Have a great week. Watch the FOMC on Wednesday, and there's a bit more news out this week. Last week was a bit boring, so plenty of news out this week to move these markets around. Stay safe out there, and be back in touch on Friday for live trading.